Segregate rooms. The infected person should be placed in own room. The infected person should avoid going to other rooms, living space. Limit persons responsible for caring for infected patients as much as possible. Wear a facial mask. Wash your hands often. Ventilate the room. Disinfect shared surfaces that touched by hand. Wash dirty line and clothes. Dispose of garbage in a sealed bag. And one is testing. This website is only available in Japanese, and I use Google Chrome and I can translate it. My husband's symptoms started on the 2nd of April, and we had to wait 4 days if he wanted to be tested. He needed to have some signs, so temperature was important, if he coughed or if he felt very tired, stuff like this. But immediately what came to my mind, what did we do 2 weeks before? 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before, my husband was still working in Tokyo. The company was not allowing telework, and only the following Friday, this was the 13th of February, they allow telework. But at that time he already planned business travel and there were many meetings and he had to attend, so he had to fly somewhere. The Saturday, we at that time only went one time in a week for shopping, and this was usually Saturday. Japan announced that they will reopen the school the coming Monday. So in the following week there was a holiday on Friday. It was a long weekend, and usually how it is in Japan, you on the long weekends you go somewhere, you either meet your parents or you go for cherry blossom viewing, stuff like this. So everybody felt relaxed. Everybody was not listening so closely anymore to the news. As it turns out, later a lot of people got infected at this weekend, and this also prompted to announce the state of emergency later, because 14 days later or a little bit later a lot of people were infected, and a lot of people criticized the government for this. They said, why didn't you warn us? Why didn't you say something? Because the signs that you want to reopen the schools in some prefecture were signs for us, we can go out. And you have to imagine, most of us, if I look at my Suica card, I used my Suica card the last time on the 24th of January. This was at that time 2 months. And we were all hungry to go out, including me. Hello and cheers. It's Thursday night, 23rd of April. And yeah, what can I tell you? What happened on that weekend? So I was really scared that my husband has COVID-19. Of course, on the other hand, you can say, oh, people panic and but a cough and fever together, I think it's a good indicator. However, the fever didn't last for long, and in German culture, fever starts at 38. So here in Japan, they said 37.5. So I would say he did not have COVID-19. We couldn't test it because he had to be 4 days sick, or 4 days he needed to have some symptoms, and he didn't have that. He had only a cough on the first day, yeah. And after that, nothing. So thank God, because we are both over 50 and underlying health conditions, if you want to say that. A little bit too much alcohol. Yeah, and that's it. So I don't know, I'm getting tired of talking about COVID-19. I maybe can tell you what is my personal opinion about it. I believe, because we got an article in Japanese in mid of January, that this virus is from a laboratory, or it is created. I cannot tell you from where, obviously, nobody can tell you. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. I worked as a secretary for a medical company in a library, so I read a lot of medical stuff about the Marburg virus, because this was a really interesting story back in 1963 to 65 or longer, I can't really remember. And this was also highly infectious, so there were stories about people getting infected in the changing room. And I thought always, this virus reminded me because because of what? Because of the first stories coming out of Wuhan and how many people got infected and lockdown and building hospitals and all this. So I was definitely alarmed, and I stayed at home, as you saw now in the video. Of course, I went out, but I really stopped seeing friends. This was one major thing for me. Well, I have to go see the news and then come back. Yeah, well, the evening news here in Japan, actually Japan is very worried. They're worried that the system will breakdown in Saitama. It's a prefecture close to one of the bedroom communities here from Tokyo. A man died while waiting for a hospital bed, or the authorities wanted to send him the next day to the hospital, but he died before. And today this is what they reported yesterday. Today they reported that there was already a man before who died in hospital, who was first at home, and then his condition deteriorated and he had to go to hospital and died. So my interpretation of this is that the system is collapsed, but everybody has a different view of this. So anyhow, I want to tell you in my next video what happened here in our community in Japan. People shouldn't go out, that's clear, it's now around the world. But I'm living in Kanagawa, and when people coming from, this is prefecture where we have a lot of beaches. So if Tokyo are coming to Kanagawa, what happened then? Because some of the richer people in Tokyo have houses here in Kanagawa. And what happened then? Something really crazy happened last time. And I will tell you in my next video. Okay, see you then. Bye.